the Three-Legged Podcast.
Hello?
Triple, can you hear me?
Yeah.
What's up, Triple?
What's up, Maniquísimo?
Triple Chimbo.
Oh, man. Blueberry. How's the weather over there?
Wet. It's been raining for the last 2 days, but it's not thunderstorms or anything like that. Nothing bad, but just wet. You know how it is when it rains too much. Everything gets wet and damp and can't do shit, but it's cool. You know?
So it's like foreplay wet, not like all the way 6 wet.
Yeah, a little something like that, I guess, if you want to describe it that way, you nasty fuck.
No, over here it poured the fuck down just like about 2 hours ago.
It was like that yesterday.
Yeah. You see in San Antonio, they had a hailstorm.
Global warming, bro. Global warming.
Fuck global warming. It's the HARP. It's the weather machine they have.
Now you're going to tell me you don't believe in global warming.
Nah, that's okay. I believe that one, but they have the weather machine. You seen that?
I know they have it in like Dubai and shit like that.
No, there's another one. It basically like it creates the clouds, like it shoots them out like crazy. So, you know, clouds mix together, make thunderstorms and all that. So,
no, I don't think that's why we have bad weather, bro. I think it's global warming.
Control the weather, you control the world, man.
What is this, fucking geostorm or something?
Think about it. That was the last movie that came out, right?
Last what do they call that? Apocalyptic movie or end of the world movie.
Yeah, but it kind of reminded me of the other movie that came out like the early 2000s. You remember?
The Day After Tomorrow?
Yeah, it's the one like where it freezes and all that in New York. Yeah.
That one's good though, bro. I like that one.
That one was good.
I watched that movie. I'll sit down with the kids and watch that one like every couple years. We'll put that one on and watch it. I think it holds up. It holds up for being an older, movie. But I didn't watch Geostorm. I don't know. It looked like a little bit too extra.
Yeah. It's just the protagonist of the movie. I mean, it's like you have Gerald Butler. That's who it was in the movie, right?
I think so. Yeah, it reminded me of White House Down.
Yeah, like he's like you're trying to save the movie, but it's like the superhero dude is gonna come save the day, as opposed to the day of tomorrow, just like a regular old nerd guy trying to survive out there,
trying to save his family. Yeah, trying to save his family. That was his whole mission. He didn't give a fuck about the world. He cared about his family. Yeah. You know why I think I like that movie the most? The Day After Tomorrow.
What?
Because if Trump doesn't watch his ass, everybody's gonna migrate to Mexico, like in that movie. Remember? Everybody's fucking trying to illegally cross to Mexico to save their asses.
He's like, oh yeah, you remember that wall you built? Yeah, you still behind your wall.
You stick behind your wall, you can't get over that bitch, can you?
You and your little wildlings that voted for you.
Your orange looking ass, yeah. All the Mexicans, we're gonna be like, oh, I know which way to get there.
Do a reverse migration.
Reverse migration, exactly. Day after tomorrow comes, that's where we're going, bro. Yeah. Going straight though. We're going to Colombia.
Down south, man. Stay warm.
So, that'd be nice.
Yep, buddy. So, speaking of movies, what you think about that? Ready Player One.
I don't know, man. I was watching the trailer yesterday with Jonas.
Yeah. And
he asked me the same question, and I told him I kind of want to watch it just because of the director, Spielberg. Or I'm not sure. I know it's one of his movies, but I don't know if he's the director or if he's the producer. But his name's associated with the movie, so it always makes me want to watch it. Anything he's associated to makes me want to watch it. So, I don't know, man. I think just the trailer alone makes me feel like they're trying too hard.
Yeah, I mean,
even Jonas said that, and he's 10 years old. He's like, Dad, I feel like they're trying too hard with the virtual reality game.
See, but all right. I mean, I know I don't read as much books as I should, and I don't think you do either.
Shit, I don't even know how to read, bro. Everything's audio. But I lie to everybody at work. I make other people read for me when there's a presentation. Go ahead and read that slide right there for me.
That came out of a book, right? I guess the book was the #1 seller or whatnot. Now I don't. I kind of heard the background of the movie or the story. It sounded all right, but looking at the trailers, I mean, the only thing that was kind of cool or that hyped me up was that you see different characters from
Yeah,
like pop culture things.
pop culture. Yeah,
Yeah,
like it got me with Back to the Future. I
yeah.
think that's where it got me with the Back to the Future car. You know, it had a lot of cool old school video game characters. I don't know. It looks like it might be okay.
Now that I mean, the thing I guess they're trying to sell it just because again, not everybody is into the book or having decided to pick it up, so they have to have like different trailers to get people to be interested on it. When I was in LA, they have the posters on the street,
Hmm.
and each poster was different. So they had the Lost Boys, and it was with the movie crew. Then they also had Rambo. They had Back to the Future. I think it was the Avengers, but it was like a almost like a Photoshop poster of a movie. So that was pretty cool. Like you see like different movies from different eras.
Oh
that were
man, I wish you would
popular
have
one
taken
time.
pictures of that.
Yeah, they too. And then I saw the posters for the Isle of the Dogs. That one's pretty cool too. I mean,
For what?
Isle of the Dogs.
What the fuck is that? Is that a cartoon?
Well, I guess it's a cartoon movie, but it's directed by Wes Anderson. So he's the one that made the Royal Tenenbaums and
Yeah. He's you're right. He's making a cartoon. Or I
yeah,
think it's a clay
claymation kind of movie.
claymation.
Yeah,
Yeah, claymation. You're right. You're right. He's making a claymation movie. I'm not too big on his movies, man. They're kind of it's like a dry humor, you know, and you got to be like in the right mood.
to watch it or really like enjoy his work or like the drama that he puts to it.
Yeah, the drama and the comedy behind it. It's like a real dry comedy. Like they hit you with the comedy, but it's just like almost like if I told you a joke and I didn't smile while I'm telling you a joke, right?
Yeah,
Or I didn't even laugh with you while you laugh, like that, like dry, no emotion behind it. That's what I feel like a lot of his movies have, and for some reason I've sat down and watched a lot of them, and I always get up and say the same shit. It's like feels the same, like dry,
like
like not my kind of comedy, I guess.
now that you mention it, I guess you mentioned that it's comedy. Like I never saw his movies as comedy. And
Yeah,
maybe it's because it's that dry that I missed the point that it's a comedy.
it's supposed to be a comedy. Yeah, a lot
But I
of them are
see it more
supposed to
like
be
as a
like dramatic
drama.
comedies.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
they're supposed to
really.
be dramatic comedies.
Okay, yeah, I was like, yeah, but Ism's all right. Not again. I wouldn't pay to go see it at the theater.
Yeah. I'm not gonna go pay to see that. Yeah, the only thing I'm looking forward to go pay money to go see is the Avengers. It's coming out in a few weeks, or like 3 weeks
Yeah,
to be exact. Um, and everybody here was bugging about going to see it on opening night or
midnight
Thursday.
premiere.
Yeah, midnight premiere. And so they went and bought tickets for the midnight premiere.
They get good seats.
They got. Well, this is the story. We're trying to buy the tickets. It's like 7 of us. We couldn't find 7 seats together. So one seat ended up being by itself,
That's gonna be
right?
you.
And then everybody was. I was like, "Fuck it, I'll just sit by myself. I don't care. I'll sit by myself." Because they were wanting to go see it on that night.
Yeah,
And here it gets pretty packed. All movie theaters get pretty packed for midnight premiere.
I mean, I think
So,
that's all of them, really.
well, this is why I say that because I realized today that I'm going to be in Nebraska that week. so,
So it's a
so
free ticket sitting there for somebody
there's a
to
free
grab.
ticket sitting there, yeah. And so I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna be in Nebraska by myself. Everybody here is gonna go watch the movie. So I got online, and the only movie theater that they had around where I'm gonna be staying is the AMC. I don't even know what kind of AMC theater. I don't think it's anything fancy. I think it's just the old school, traditional, the old school theater.
Yeah,
I don't think it has stadium seating or reclining seats or nothing fancy, just old school theater.
like a dollar
Because
theater here.
yeah, because it was only $6 for the movie on the premiere night,
Oh wow.
and I just I didn't even get to pick my seat. I just like got a ticket and online with transaction fee and everything was $7. So I'm
That's not
assuming that
bad.
it's not bad at all, and I'm assuming that it's not packed because I was able to get a ticket 3 weeks out. Here it's everything. All the movie theaters are already sold out for like opening weekend.
You're gonna go watch it with the Children of the Corn.
Yep, yep. I'll go
So
watch it with the corn people. What do they call them? Corn hustlers,
the Huskers,
huskers.
hustlers.
Yeah, corn hustlers, bro.
He's the one that
Hustlers.
sells the corn on the cob in the corner. Say, man, got it for the low.
Yeah. So everybody was talking shit to me. Oh, now you want to go watch it on opening night? And I'm like, well, what else am I gonna do? It's either that or go drink beer. So I'll go watch the movie and then go drink beer.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to that. That's gonna be my next movie, and then from there, I think the summer movies start.
What about Deadpool?
Deadpool. I'll definitely go watch
That's
Deadpool.
May, right?
Yep, May. Yeah. So that's gonna be a good one. How about that's not into that kind of comedy issue?
What, like Wes Anderson?
No, like Deadpool.
Oh, that she could care less. I mean, it's a superhero movie, so she kind of feel like, oh, whatever.
Did she watch the first one?
I think she did. I
Okay.
think, but again, she's not into that stuff, so really
I
care
would think the
less.
comedy. I think the comedy, like I would think the comedy would get her, because when she's here, either she's faking it when we're talking shit and she's laughing.
Well, I think it's just also the environment, because sometimes you watch movies that like you're around people, it's fun, and something you watch it by yourself, and you're like, yeah, I mean, fall asleep to them. So it also is just the energy around it. I mean, if she would have watched it here, she probably would have been on the phone or something, multitasking, where really don't enjoy the whole thing.
Yeah.
You don't get, to really pay attention to the movie. Now, speaking of Marvel movies, you seen the preview for Venom?
Yeah, I like that one. That one looks like. Well,
I didn't dig the
let me
preview.
pedal back. Let me pedal back. Let me
I
pedal
didn't dig
back.
the preview.
I don't think the trailer was catchy.
It wasn't at all.
Yeah, like I want to go see it because one, Gina's baby daddy's in it, Tom Hardy.
Yeah.
Jonas's father. Apparently, that's what he tells me when I say, "Listen to your father." You're not my dad. Tom Hardy's my dad. So Tom Hardy and GSP are Jonas's father's figures in his life. I'm living my life wrong, bro.
Oh man.
But I kind of want to see it just because of him, because I'm a fan of Tom Hardy movies. I think he does a really good job with all his movies.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go watch that just because it's Venom, right? I'm curious to see what they're gonna do with Venom. If they're gonna make him the good guy turn bad guy, or the bad, he's gonna play the good guy, and then later he's gonna become a bad guy. Because isn't that what Venom does? He bounces back and forth between good and bad. Whatever floats his boat at the time, or whatever's convenient for him.
Yeah, it just like, all right, if you didn't know about, Venom and the whole symbiotic thing that came from space or whatever, not, and you just saw the preview, you really couldn't even tell there was a Marvel movie until like the end that shows the eyes, and you would think
Yeah,
maybe just like an alien movie or something like that.
yeah. I was gonna say it just looks like a traditional sci-fi movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was like, so I think they should cut. Well, maybe they'll come with a better trailer in the summertime when it gets closer to, debuting the movie in October. But so
Because you know what?
far,
When they released the trailer, they were still filming.
yeah. So hopefully that trailer, I mean, I know Marvel has like, the rep, but with that trailer, it's like they're getting too cocky. Like, oh, whatever we put is gonna be fire. And I don't know.
Yeah, you're kind of right. You're kind of right. I mean, they gotta. I've said it before multiple times on this podcast. Marvel is doing it right. I will say, Guardians of the Galaxy 2 was one of the few movies that I was like, okay, Went to the movie theater and I was not feeling it. So, they haven't, in my opinion, they haven't hit not all home runs. They've hit Avengers home runs. The majority of their movies are home runs, but not all of them. So we'll see. Maybe Venom's in one of those categories where it's just a base run.
Yeah, bust. Hopefully not, though. I mean, it will suck if it's a bust, but we'll see.
You know what I think was a bust was that new Tomb Raider movie. I haven't heard anybody talk about it. Nobody.
I didn't even know it came out yet. I thought it was still.
I even put it on. I put on Instagram that I went to go see a fan preview because I got invited to go see a fan preview, and I didn't even get likes on it. That's how much people didn't care about Lara Croft.
You saw like this?
I don't even think
screening?
people know, but yeah, no, not a screening. It was a day before it released. So the movie released on Thursday night, and it was Wednesday night we went to go watch it.
Yeah.
And I mean, I enjoyed it because it was a free movie, and old girl that is playing Lara Croft, she's easy on the eyes, and she was entertaining when she was on the screen. She wasn't like overdoing it. It wasn't like when Angelina Jolie was doing it, where it was like you kind of lose the character because they're trying to make her to be bigger than life. And when Angelina was like popping, she was supposed to be bigger than life, and she was like very exotic and sexy, and that kind of like overtook anything that she was trying to, like her earlier movies, she did a really good job acting. And then I feel like after a while, when she became like really big Hollywood, that's all her movies were about, was the sex icon that she was becoming. Yeah. And she didn't need to be a good actress. And Tomb Raider was in that little era where movies were just big because she was in them. She was like the it girl.
And I feel like that, I mean, you can even drop that on the director and maybe the producers, because I mean, the storyline wasn't as good, so they throw her in there to make the sales.
Yeah.
Kind of like I heard that Nicolas Cage is finally going to be able to play Superman.
What?
Yes, that was a rumor online because there was a meme using Superman body in his face.
This poor guy, man. It's like, I don't know where Nicolas Cage. I don't even want to go off Lara Croft yet because I still have some things to say, but I gotta say, Nicolas Cage, I think now he's just making money out of being outrageous. You know what I mean? It's like, I can't tell you the last movie that I saw that Nicolas Cage was in that I was like, man, that was a good movie. I can't tell you.
I think the only movie that I saw that he was like badass was Face Off.
And it doesn't hold up. And that's not his fault because of the technology back then. But that is one of my Con Air and Face Off is one of my Nicolas Cage.
Yeah, Con Air too. Gone in 60 Seconds, a little bit. But after that, it just went down. I mean, even he tried to be the Ghost Rider.
Well, Ghost Rider wasn't his fault. Ghost Rider was actually okay.
They should remake it.
But I think Ghost Rider suffered of the same thing that all superhero movies suffered back then, is the writing and the directing. We didn't have the style of writing and directing that we have now. The new writers and the new directors, man, they're just doing something completely different. And back then, it was like all writers and all directors felt like they had to fit in between these margins, these Hollywood margins, So, and you know what that Hollywood margin was? Is trying to get as many young people in the seats as possible because that's where the money's at. So, the movies that make the most money are cartoons and children's movies.
Look, out of the whole era, the only superhero movie that I give it to that is still underrated and survived has been Blade.
Blade 1, I know you were going to say Blade. I think you were going to say Blade.
I mean, even for the technology, it's like you can watch it and not complain about it.
But look at what I'm telling you. It fits exactly. It goes exactly against what I'm telling you. Blade was not written and directed to be a
blockbuster.
A kid-friendly movie.
True. I mean, it
You
was
know?
pretty gory. It was rated
Yeah,
R.
it was gory. It
From
was there was cussing. It was very sexual. It was scary at times for its time, and it was not meant for kids. We watched it because we just had bad parents.
yeah,
Just playing, Mom, I love you. Um, but it wasn't meant for kids, and that's why one of the reasons it wasn't as big. But before now, the movies they're PG-13, but they push the envelope. You
man,
know,
PG-13 is like borderline rated. I mean, really like borderline rated R.
Yeah, yeah. But now when you look at PG-13 movies, they're like you said, borderline rated R. There's a lot of jokes in there that are like double meaning jokes. Um, a lot of the comedy goes past our kids' heads. They just like it for the action and because of the characters they're putting on there. But they entertain the parents, and that's what makes it good because they're feeding the parents that are taking their kids to these movies. They're not feeding the kids that are watching these movies.
Yeah,
And now the kids that started watching Iron Man are not kids anymore. They're teenagers or young adults now. So now they've grown up with these movies. Marvel was very smart about the way they did that. I mean, I think we did the math last time. Iron Man was what, 2004, 2005, right? Look it up.
let me see.
Let's look it up. See who finds it quick. Never mind. Don't look it up because you're typing. Our poor audience is gonna hear all that shit. I'm just gonna look it up on my phone.
May 2nd, 2008.
2000. Man, he was not even. Okay, so 10 years ago.
It feels like longer than that.
It feels like longer, but okay, 10 years ago. Okay, so let's look at that. I took my kids to go see that movie, and they were young. Jonas wasn't even born. Okay, so like Logan, teenager now. So he grew up with those movies, and the way the comedy is continuing, he's still going to be entertained. So think about a 10-year-old that went to go see that movie. Now they're 20 years old. They're still being entertained with that movie. It's not like the comedy has changed or it's not interesting to a 20-year-old, right?
Yeah.
So they started watching it for the action and the characters, and now that they're 20 years old, they're continuing to watch it because the comedy's funny and the action's really good and the storyline, you know, they've just done a great job with that. But I don't know how we got back to Marvel. I don't know how every time we end up back up talking about Marvel, we're talking about Laura Croft for a second there. And
Well, I mean, look, Lara Croft, like the first Tomb Raider movies, I get why they made her, Angelina Jolie, like the idol of the movie, just because, I mean, the first Tomb Raider video games, Lara Croft was that.
well, no, not necessarily. You
Yes,
know who
necessarily, because I
I
mean,
heard?
she
I
was
heard
like
originally. I
a
heard
sex
originally.
icon too for the nerds on PlayStation.
Yeah, for
Like,
the nerds on PlayStation, but they jack off to anything. So I mean, that's not saying much. But I heard originally. I don't know if this is true. I can't confirm it, but I remember reading an article a long time ago where they talked about what's her name? Damn, I just had her name on the tip of my tongue when I was about to say this, and now I went blank on who I was talking about. But originally, it was not going to be Angelina Jolie playing that character. It was going to be um, Sandra Bullock.
I don't see her fit in that role though.
But
No,
back then, she's short, she's skinny, she has dark hair, she's a brunette, she's white complected, she's Laura Croft. Especially
nah.
back then,
I,
because back
I,
then she was hitting hard too.
yeah, but I don't like. I feel like Angelina did fit the role, but it was just bad movies. Now, if we look at the new movie, because they just released a new Tomb Raider game for PS4, which a whole different dynamic. It's more like, hey, look, she's a girl that goes hard, but she's not like this, you know, sex icon chick. I mean,
Yeah, yeah.
so
And
it kind of
that's
fits the
exactly
movie
what they
now.
did with. That's exactly what they did with the movie. Now you can stop listening right now,
They should
but
have
they
watched
start.
it by now. I mean, it's already been out.
Yeah, you can get it on bootleg at any corner now. Um, they start the movie kind of showing her at trying to give you the perspective of what kind of person she is, and she's tough, but she's not a badass, and she's adventurous, but she's still kind of clumsy. So they kind of like they don't go all out, right? Kind of like the old Lara Croft was like she was the shit, right? She
Yeah,
can
she
kick
was
everybody's
perfect.
ass. She was perfect. And this one, she's like they make her look human, which made it kind of cool. And then from there, it just turns into an Indiana Jones movie with the female. That's all it is.
Yeah, so like Uncharted.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
all it is. It's an Uncharted movie with a female character.
yeah.
But it was good. You know, I would recommend it as a good, red box and some, on a rainy day, rent that movie, get some pizza, and watch that movie with your family.
Now, speaking of bootlegs in the corner store, it's crazy how now like technology like shut that down. Remember when you used to buy like, three unreleased movies for like 10, $15? You're
Mhm.
excited to go home with a DVD player. Now it's like, hey, look, get you a Fire Stick. You get all the movies. You don't see that hustle no more where like you see the guy in the gas station with a folder full of movies. Like, I got all the movies.
No, man, that industry got killed.
It's
But
just like, oh, man.
it even made it worse for the movie industry. It's like they complain. It's like don't complain because you never know what's coming next, right? The movie industry is complaining so much about bootlegging and all this and all that, and now it's like at a different level now where they can't even compete.
Yeah.
Man, I'm not gonna lie. I've seen some really good quality movies on the Fire Stick. Oh shit! Remember the day we got it?
We
Remember that
watched
day
the Magnificent Eight and all that just came out that week.
we watched the Leonardo
Oh, The
say
Revenant.
the Revenant. Fuck, I can't even say his name.
Leonardo DiCaprio.
There you go. Thank you. That's why I have you on the podcast so you can speak for me when I can't speak. Remember we watched his movie
Yeah.
and it was still like 2 weeks before the movie was even going to release.
Allegedly, we watched that movie. It didn't happen.
Allegedly, yeah. Allegedly, we have a Fire
Fire
Stick
Stick.
that's boot. Allegedly.
Yeah. But I mean, yeah. It just, I mean, the internet as it evolved, it has one kind of limit people's hustle. Because before, I mean, you could have made money just easily with a mixtape CD when you download
Yeah.
movies. Now,
You
I
can't
mean, you
even
have
make that.
YouTube. You can just listen to it. So I'm not gonna go pay somebody to make me a CD. Two, cars don't even have CD players no more.
Mm-mm.
Nobody uses DVD. If that, they use a Blu-ray disc.
Hmm.
But mostly everything is just through streaming. So like the internet, it started a hustle and then it just kind of shut it all down. I mean, the Fire Stick was the last thing that came out, and I'm pretty sure soon something else is going to come up that's even faster, quicker, and the demand is going to be even less because like the Fire Stick, you just go to YouTube, look the video how you can update it or how you can break the Fire Stick, and
Yes, you can't even make a hustle off selling them anymore.
yeah,
You can't even make that a hustle. That's the way it was started. Like people started hustling, selling them. You can't even have that hustle because all you gotta do is just go buy it now, and it's so easy. You can just go do it yourself. I
yeah,
don't do that, because I'm an honest person. I don't do those kind of things, but I hear that it's very easy to do.
yeah. I mean that's what I've seen too, but
I'm lying. The only
here's
reason
what.
I don't do it is because I don't want viruses. But yeah, dude, it's man, the internet's fucking changed the game, bro.
Yeah.
I
I
mean,
mean,
if it wasn't for the internet, we wouldn't be able to do what we're doing right now.
which I'm glad that net neutrality thing either is on hold or haven't it didn't they took it back because I mean it would have been some shit.
Can't even keep up with everything going on in the world
Yeah,
right now, man.
we wouldn't be doing this right now,
Mm-mm.
especially. So I was like, all right, That's good.
I mean, I guess there's good and bad to every technology, right? And as many bad things as come with the internet, I think maybe there's 3 times or 4 times more good things that come with the internet.
You know what? But I mean, as much they said that as bad as come with the internet, like even though those things are bad, like it helps expose things that have gone on the low for too long. You know, uh, like even stuff that you're not supposed to be looking at, or like you have child molester down the street and he gets caught because he's using the internet for dirty shit that he's not supposed to be even doing. But if without the internet, like you would never know.
That's true.
So as bad as they said, like, oh, you have access to everything and things that you're not even supposed to have access, is like, well, those people trying to access those things eventually will get caught because it lives a trail, and it's like you want to catch those people and get them out of, society. So, I mean, it kind of like puts the bait for like, hey, look, here's a piece of cheese. I'm gonna see you trying to catch it, and then I catch you. So I don't mind. I mean, you gotta have you also some restraint, just like with everything.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Speaking of hustles on the internet, we just recently bought a used car, trying to live that debt-free lifestyle.
yeah,
And dude, that was such a fucking hustle trying to get a used car on the internet, like looking for cars on the internet, because every I would say every 3 or 4 postings that I would see that I would reply like via text,
yeah,
I would get some. After a while, like after like 2 or 3 times, I caught on to the pattern, right? So they'll post something that's like not too good to be true, but like okay, like the story is good. Like you know, I no longer need this car, for work purposes, or
I'm working
got
overseas and you're just sitting there.
yeah, like they'll come up with some story, like and then it's a pretty good deal, right? Not too good to be true, but reasonable deals, right? And you go and send a reply, like, all right, cool. Let me in your car. Let me, where can we meet, or give me some more info, and then right away, this is the pattern on Craigslist. Look at the number you're about to text. If it's like a really weird area code compared to where you live, which I know is kind of hard because this day and age, so many people move and they keep their cell phones, so you might have a cell phone from your local area codes. But if it's like a really weird number, like a 6 6 something or a 5 5 something, it's like these weird numbers. And then also when they show the number, they always have like some for some reason they have an extension, which I think the reason is because they're like Google phone
Google,
numbers or
yeah.
something. And so you'll text this person, right? So that's the first thing you gotta like maybe notice the area code. If it's like the majority of the people are like area codes around you, and then that one is like sticks out like a sore thumb. That's clue number one. Clue number two, they always text you back from a different phone number. They never text you back from the same phone number. They text you back from a different phone number and tell you that they put the post up for someone else, and to please give them your email address so they can email you uh, for more details, or they give you a different email address to contact. Please contact this email address for more information, or please give me your email address so I can send you more information. That's clue number two. And then the obvious one is that they tell you they're not in town and that you can pay them through PayPal or through eBay, and then they'll ship you the car. Or that the last one that they kept on telling me, oh, we'll ship you the car once you approve it, then we get paid. I'm like bullshit. Once I put that money, once I do the transaction on PayPal, it's done.
Yeah.
So I went through one of that from start to finish. I went like followed it just out of curiosity because I knew what was going on. And I even told you, and I was like, look, we're gonna find a bunch of scammers here, but And then I was like, oh look, I found the pattern, and I told her, and she would like look at one. I'll be like, nope, that's a scammer. She'd be like, no, you don't know that for sure. Call it or text it. I would text it. Sure enough, I would look. They wanted an email address. Always the same shit. But if they're doing it, it's because people are falling for it, right? They wouldn't be doing it if people aren't falling for it.
Yeah, some have, or also people are too excited to this. But like, I mean, before the cars, I mean, we had seen those you know scammers when I was trying to sell my Thunderbird. The hustle at that time was, hey, I want to buy the car from you. I will send a tow truck to go pick up the car. I'm gonna give you a money order for $3,000. You cash it, get your money, and you give the rest of the money to the tow truck person that's gonna go pick up the car so they can bring me the change back. That was one. The second time was we're trying to rent a house in the Heights, and we were just looking for houses.
All right, what were you saying? You trying to rent a house?
Yeah, we're trying to rent a house in the Heights. So we're looking at houses. They were like, at that time, the rent was not as high. So we're looking at 1,400. And we found one. So we messaged them, of course. But it was through email. There was no number. And their story was that they work on the oil field. They're in overseas. So they're never home. So they want to rent it out. So then this fool was saying, hey, look, send me a deposit via Western Union. The keys are going to be, I guess I'm going to drop the keys off in the mailbox and you guys can go in, check the house out. And then, you guys start sending me the rent every month through this bank account.
What the fuck? No contract, no nothing.
No. So I was like, oh, man. But I was like, man, let's go check out the house. There's an address. So we went to the address. There's people living there. Like, no sign of being rent, no anything.
Did you knock on the door?
Yeah, and they were like, no, we're not trying to rent this house. Like, we've been living here for the past 2 years. Like, I'm not selling, I'm not renting. So we're like, wow. And then dude email again, or a guy, whatever, say, hey, are you still interested in the house? Are you going to send the money order? Because, I have other people trying to look at the house. And I was like, all right, man, whatever. So we cut that. But that was one of the hustles at the time. Was people saying, hey, look, send me a money order. PayPal wasn't as big back then. Mm-hmm. This was when Christian was still small. He was maybe like 2, 3. Because Sailor was also already a baby. So, yeah, I mean, people, and like you said, people might fall for it. You have people that, start dating online and they start sending people money overseas in Africa. Or they have you won the lottery in Nigeria.
So when they get catfish, the people dating get catfish?
Oh, man.
That's sad. That's sad. Like
it's sad, but at the same time, it's like, okay,
like so wrong with you. Like your parents are so wrong with you if they didn't teach you. Like if you have, I don't know, man. I don't want to talk shit about people dating online because I know it happens and there's happy endings, but like if you're that socially awkward that you can only date people online, I mean, and technically, I guess it's a relationship. But it's a fake, I don't know, weird fake relationship because you never see the person physically. You're not touching them.
I mean, look.
You're not spending real time with them.
In a way, the catfish I see it, there's two sides to the story though. Like, if you look at it, you are having this connection with this person. Yes. Now, I don't know how much lies they're telling you, but that connection is there. Like, you made the relationship. Now, if you see them in person, they don't look like the pictures they sent you or something else. And that's different. It's like, okay, you're not attracted to the real person. But if you take the physical out, you still had the relationship and that connection. And that's a person that you really like. So it's like, how much compromise you want to make? And two is like, if you're talking to a person for this long online and like, you can get no pictures or they can never meet you. Or if you, ask if you can go to wherever they are and they come up with some BS excuse, you should already kind of like, all right, something's up. You know what? F it. Let me just move on and continue doing what I'm doing. I mean, you set yourself up to a certain point to get to being catfish and then you really can be crying later on. I mean,
yeah, man. I mean, I can almost see the hustles where someone is not savvy with technology and procedures, or like maybe you get an older person, or maybe you get someone who's not educated, or like maybe someone who doesn't speak, English, and they're an immigrant, and so they're trying to find ways to do things in a roundabout way, so that way they don't have to go through the proper procedure or through the proper paperwork, and they get hustled. I can kind of see that, man. I can almost understand those people because you know we know people that would probably get hustled that way. My mom, she's older, she does not tech savvy. They were trying to hustle her with that when she was trying to sell her car, because she posted it on Craigslist. I don't know how she posted it on Craigslist, but she was able to figure out how to post it on Craigslist, but she wasn't able to figure out that she was getting hustled. Um, that she almost got hustled for the car. But other people like dating online.
But
I don't know, man. I don't know about dating online. Like,
okay,
when I date someone, I want to be able to. I want to date someone because I met them. Like I had I looked into their eyes, right? I saw who they are, and I heard what they were what they were selling me, right? Because dating is just a sales pitch, right? The majority of dating is a sales pitch, right?
yeah,
And it's like if maybe my self confidence is that low that I can't meet someone in person, or I'm socially awkward that I can't meet someone in person. Man, there's something wrong there, man.
but
We're turning into some fucked up people.
not even that. Okay, if you look at it or statistics or whatever, 9 times out of 10, that you see these people that get hurt or the catfish on the dating game online. The pattern is as follows: they reach out to someone, or someone reach out to them that, if they're being honest with themselves, is a person that would never talk to them when they're in the real world. Like, the guy or the girl might be at 5 or 6, and we're saying that because one, they don't take care of themselves, and again, their confidence is that low that they're really just, they're not spelling out this energy. They're like, hey, look, I'm attractive even though I don't look like the quote unquote how a guy or a girl should look, according to a magazine.
Mm.
And they
So
get this chick or
you're
this
describing
girl.
you're describing yourself and myself. Like,
Yeah.
we're not tens, but
But you got something that is like, hey, look,
we're like high eights, and then our personality takes over and gives us bonus points to maybe even get to an 11. I get you, bro.
yeah. But
I
the
understand you.
person that they try to go reach out is like what society or the media or magazine will call like a 9 or a 10. Like someone that is extremely out of their league if we're going by society's rules, and they know themselves.
Unless they're
And
rich.
yeah, but I mean, if you're rich, you're just gonna throw money and call it a day. You're gonna get what you want. I mean, you can look at Trump. So that's not even the case. But they get
Yeah,
into
mail
this
order card. I
fantasy
get you.
world that is like, oh man, I got this supermodel chick on me, but you have no personality and you look like ass. Like, if you really talk to yourself, it's like, really? I mean, is this real? Like, you might as well go and win the lottery if you have that much luck and things are going working for you that way in the universe. It doesn't it doesn't make sense. Like, if you have common sense, which is not that common, you'll kind of figure it after a little bit. Like, all right, what's really going on?
That's bad, bro.
You know.
That's sad. Yeah,
I'm saying, if you try to, like, if you're that bad and you try to like go hit chicks up on guys online.
so who's responsible for that person's failures? Themselves or their parents? It's probably some bad parenting, right? Because I know we wouldn't have got away with that shit.
It's bad parenting, I guess, but then at the same time, it's like, hey, look, once you
It's
become an
like
adult,
it's like the parents didn't teach them, no sea tan pendejo, like avíspese.
yeah, but
Ah,
once you're an adult,
shit.
bro, like, really, what else can you do? It's like, you get what you want. Now, I mean, there's so many excuses you can make up to say, oh, I was a victim of catfish. I mean, and also, it's like, if you're really looking to date online, you kind of will look for someone that matches your interest, and you see that kind of like you have things that will, like, okay, I might not look like someone that she likes, but we have all these things in common that maybe I can charm my way in there because we talk about the same things we talk about. There's the
Yeah,
chemistry there.
yeah.
But let's just say I play, PlayStation 4 all day, but I'm gonna go try to holler online at this chick that is a model and she's always partying, and she's at the gym, all that stuff. That is not gonna work out. I mean, as much as you try, you're really just gonna sell yourself that life.
That's true. That's something I think about. I just mentioned like whose fault is it? If you don't learn how to not get hustled. And honestly, I want to say it's partly your parents' fault, either because they taught you not to get hustled, or because they never took you out of the environment where there's hustling going on, right?
Yeah.
And I always think about that with my kids, because where we come from, well, in Colombia, it doesn't matter what social status you're in. Hustling is all everywhere, right? You could be rich, but you gotta learn how not to get hustled because Colombia is just hustler nation, right?
Yeah.
And then you come like in the States, um, you learn how to not get hustled because us, for example, our parents taught us a lot about that shit, right? About scammers and, people being dishonest and people, trying to influence you based on what you like or,
Okay, just don't trust
like,
nobody, man.
yeah, don't trust. Yeah, we basically got taught not to trust nobody. I
Yeah.
mean, that's just the Hispanic way.
You
Like,
don't
it
have
doesn't matter if you're
friends.
Colombian or not.
You don't
Like,
have friends.
Gina's grandma to this day, bro, she don't trust nobody. She don't even trust she don't trust her grandchildren, her great grandchildren. She don't trust nobody. That's just something they instill in people. But like, growing up, you we didn't grow up in bad neighborhoods, but we didn't grow up in the best neighborhoods, right? Or, sometimes we lived borderline, right? Where you went to school with people that came from a bad neighborhood, or we
Yeah.
hung out with people from bad neighborhoods. And so you start learning like what the hustles are, right? And who's the hustlers are and just like we're talking about. What the fuck's up with all the noise? Just like you learn about, you can start seeing patterns on the hustle on Craigslist and shit like that. In real life, you start seeing those patterns, right? You start seeing the way people talk to you, the way people's mannerisms. You start learning those hustles. And then sometimes I think about it, man, and my kids, when they get older, they start looking for going to bad neighborhoods and looking for those type of people. Like, they will never know that. They'll never experience that until maybe it's too late. So I always think to myself, man, did I do the right thing with trying to get them away from that environment? Which I think I did, right? Because nobody wants to live in the hood.
Yeah, and also, I think we're not like so sheltered. I know nowadays some parents want to protect their kids from everything and don't let them get exposed, or at least somewhat get that experience of like, hey, look, you're a dumbass, you just got hustled. This is why. So at
Yeah.
least now, next time, like you experienced it, you know what to look for. Because I mean, granted, sometimes we do dumb stuff or whatever, and they let it happen, and they come afterwards and say, "Hey, this is what happened."
Man, I don't know. I've been hustled a couple of times. I'm not gonna lie.
And it's like, you're stupid, and again, like just say like a teenager, you think you know everything, so you
Yeah.
just kind of sit back and watch. Now, some parents, or at least a lot of them nowadays, or certain races or cultures, they try to keep their children in bubbles. Like,
Yeah.
they don't want them to, know this, or they don't want this to happen. And they're always, one step ahead of them, so they don't have to experience this. But it's also a disservice, because when they go hit the real world, it's like, hey, bro, somebody's going to eat you alive out there. That's just going to happen.
That's an understatement, bro.
Yep. So,
Yeah, I always talk to my kids about that. Like, man, you think you know, but you don't know. Like, there's so many, or you'll see something in like, you know, um, like for example, not to, not to throw people out there, not to talk shit about, but sorry, I'm pretty sure the majority of people have been hit up by a gypsy
uh,
at least once in their life. At least once in their life.
welcome to
And
Houston.
yeah, there was like there was a gypsy family that posted up in Plano for a little bit here, and they were just hustling. And I remember we were at the store with the kids, and we saw the gypsy lady coming up, and she started asking us like we're by what they call the Mexican section, which is fucking ridiculous to me. But where they got the bean and the rice and they got all the
Yeah, they got all this
seasonings.
sazon.
Yeah, and then they got and then on top of that they have the fucking the crunchy
They got the takis and
taco
then
shells. No, they got the crunchy taco shells from Taco Bell, but they still call it the Mexican section, which is fucking ridiculous. But anyways, that's for another topic. That's a different topic for a different day. So Gina had just picked out. She was looking for some garbanzos and some other kind of bean. I don't remember. She was looking for something, and we put in the car, and we're about to walk off. And I see the gypsy lady walking up, but I don't want to think she's coming. I know she's coming to us. Like in the back of my head, I'm like, this bitch about to talk to us. But I didn't say nothing because I didn't want to like stereotype, right?
yeah.
In front of the kids, but sure enough, she comes up with her like a grocery cart, nothing in the grocery cart, and two kids. And she starts asking us questions about how to pick out beans.
Wow.
And so I just stay quiet and I don't say nothing. I let Gina talk. One, because Gina normally tends to run people off. And two, because I just want to keep a fucking eye on the kids and her because I don't trust none of those motherfuckers. So I'm just fucking sitting there watching, making sure like they're not trying to hustle us, like trying to pickpocket or pull something on us, right? And then Gina's like, well, just, she kind of answers her, like trying to be nice in front of the kids, answers her. And she's like, oh, okay. I always just wondered that. And just, okay, thank you. And then she walks off. And then me and Gina just kind of look at each other. And I'm like, I look at the kids. I'm like, move, 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 move. Oh, keep on walking, move. And they're like, they don't get it. To them, it's like, the sky's blue and, the flowers are pretty. And they're like in their own little world. I'm like, wow, move, 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 move. Let me get it. Like, let's get the fuck out of here. And then they're like, Dad, what's your problem? I was like, man, I ain't trying to get hustled. That lady's up to something. She's trying to find her mark. Like, and they're like, what are you talking about? Like, and I'm like, oh, she's a gypsy. And oh, you're so racist. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm not being racist. I'm telling you, she's a gypsy. Oh man, but like that's the kind of shit. Like I remember being fucking 10 years old and being able to fucking tell a hustler coming my way. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But my kids, they don't see that shit, bro. And I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, you're so lost in the world sometimes.
I want to blame it on so much the screen time just because now it's like that's all they have. I mean,
I guess it's true. I mean,
we're not that old, but back then when in our teenage years, like you really, like the video games were there, but they were not that exciting.
Yeah.
And we didn't have Instagram.
They were exciting for like the week, for like a late Saturday night. If you didn't have nothing to do, stay up all night with your homeboys, trying to beat a level or trying to compete against each other. But that was after you already went to a 15 or something, and
And the closest to social media was, the chat rooms, but then you couldn't use the internet without holding up the phone line, so you really couldn't do it through the day. I mean, you had to stay up late at night when everybody was asleep. So, like, no matter what, you had to be out doing something or watching the sidewalk. I mean, the screen time wasn't, as much as it is now. I mean, even if you try to take it away at school, I mean, that's just all it is.
I mean, I guess you got to pick and choose, right? Because if my kids were the same way I was at their age, I'd be fucking throwing a shit. I'd be throwing a shit fit, and I'd be like, no, I'll be whooping their asses. It'd just be it'd be bad for business. So I guess you got to pick and choose your battles, right? So maybe they'll get hustled one day, but at least they're not going to jail or, getting in trouble, getting kicked out of school or doing drugs. So I guess count our blessings the way they come.
Yeah, man. But those gypsies, man. And it's not even racist because that's their way of life.
Yeah.
Because those motherfuckers know where. I mean, that's how they're born and raised. It's like, hey, look, you just go out there all day, hustle money, and come back and sleep in the trailer. I mean, for them, that's normal.
Well, in Dallas, there's like two levels of gypsy now. I do gotta say that. There's the traveling gypsies, right? The ones that still fucking go in their caravans and they're still moving from city to city, hustling in one city and then moving on to the next city. And then here in Dallas, there's like established gypsies, which they're just hustling but they live they live in the city and they have houses and they have cars, but they're gypsies.
Yeah.
So those motherfuckers, those are the ones that always come up to you trying to put a shitload of bondo on your car when you got a dent.
Yeah, that's the ones that used to be around here. I mean, they got sent to
Yeah,
jail, but it was the girls will sell ass for a living,
for money. Yeah, for money.
and then the guys they'll ride around all day. If you had little scratches, then hey man, I can take that off for cheap, and
Yeah.
do that bondo situation, or eventually they end up tying old people and taking the shit out of their house, and that's how they got sent to jail. But they always had a nice car,
Yeah.
and the head honcho of the whole clique, that fool always had a lot of money. Like they'll be at Starbucks sometimes, and they look raggedy and nasty, but like their pocket is fat. So it's like, how do
No,
you
so
still live like this, but you have all this money in your pocket? But that's just their lifestyle.
no, so the gypsies here, you could tell them apart. Well, back in the hood, you can tell them apart because they all had like nice trucks, like F-150s or Silverados, but they used to like to go get tires and then grind the tire, like get tires that have like white letters on them,
Mm-hmm.
and then grind them to make them a whitewash. And so all their trucks had like a white line, like you know what I'm talking about?
So they'll
Like
grind
a
the letter
like a
off, so it just be a white line.
Yeah, they would grind it, but they would grind it to make a circle, and
Oh,
like
okay,
a thick
okay.
circle. So all their trucks had like the thick white lines, right? Kind of like the
Bootleg
what
white
do you call it? Like
walls.
the yeah, bootleg white walls, or like the Vogues, like that, like bootleg white walls. Basically, yeah, basically what bootleg white walls, and they were always trying to come up to you, try to sell you speakers, or trying to bondle your car, and then the women the same way, right?
Yeah.
But man, I remember when, I don't know if you remember this, but I used to work at IHOP when I was in
Mm.
like in high school,
No.
and I used to like wait tables on during the weekday, and on the weekends I used to host. Like Friday, Saturday, I used to host. I didn't serve, I just hosted. But during the week I wait tables. So one day in the middle of the week, the gypsies show up, and it's normally they travel all women with children or all the men, right?
Yeah.
So this day was all the men with all the male children, and they come to IHOP, and it's like I want to say it's like 10 of them. I remember they took up two tables, and they had to put two tables together, maybe a little bit more. It was a shitload of them, dude. And their hustle is they try to confuse you, right? They try to confuse you when you're talking to you, or they try to argue with you, or they try to complain about shit. So that way, that's their hustle, right? Either you give them bad service, or you got confused and you bought them the wrong stuff, or none of that shit works. Then they start talking shit about the product, right? That's their hustle. So I remember, I already knew it, man. I was 15 years old. They come in, me and the other guy working. I was like, man, I'm I'm gonna get that table. I want to deal with those gypsies tonight. And sure enough, I got the table. So, dude, they fucking try to make my life fucking hell. They try to make my life hell. They talk about, so when you're taking drink orders, you go in order, right?
Yeah.
You start at one point and you go around in a circle, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, and you get the drink orders. So that way you know exactly the order the drinks come back out. So these motherfuckers, I'm start taking the first drink order, then someone else wants to give me the drink order. So I don't take it. I just ignore them. And then I go to the next person. I try to give them a drink order, and someone else tries to give me a drink order. By the third person, they try to do that. I was like, hey guys, if you haven't noticed, when you guys are telling me a drink order, I'm not writing it down because I'm not there yet. When I come back around, when I get to you, I'll ask you for your drink order and I'll write it down. But I can't be taking orders just randomly. Like I'll get like, oh, what's up with that, man? I was like, sorry, man, I'm a little slow, man. You guys gotta be patient with me.
Come on, my friend.
Yeah, like I just can't. Everybody just can't start talking at the same time and expect me to get the drink order. So I'll get to you, right? And so they did the same thing with the food, right? When they're trying to order. They try to, and then they order something, and then they want to fucking change it and substitute and do all these things, and then they start asking you questions, and then they ask you questions about something else, and then they'll go back to the original thing. They're just trying to confuse you, right? So I was like, all right, man, I'm gonna stay on my game. I'm gonna try to make sure I don't get confused, make sure I get the shit out right. And then what I started doing was I write it down and I show it to them. Is this what you want? And they're like, yeah. I'm like, all right, cool. I'll move to this right person. Write it down. I was like, this is what you want? Yeah. So that way, when I came back out with the food, they couldn't say that wasn't what they wanted, right?
Yeah.
So they tried that anyways. They're like, oh, I didn't order this. I was like, 1, 2, 3, 4. You're in the fourth seat. Yep, that's exactly what you ordered. You confirmed it. Well, I didn't know that's what I wanted. I'm sorry, man. That's what you ordered. You want me to order you something else? I'm about to charge you. Nah. That's not good customer service. I'm like, sorry, man. I'm sorry, man. I can't help it if you order something you didn't like, and you're halfway done eating it.
Oh, so, shit.
Yeah. Like later they were like, oh, I don't think this is what I ordered. I'm like, sorry, man. If it wasn't what you wanted,
don't touch it.
You should have started eating it. You should have told me right away. And matter of fact, the other thing I did was I told my boss that when they came in, I wasn't going to serve I wasn't going to wait on any other tables. I was going to focus all my attention on their table. And she was like, why? And I was like, because those guys are going to try to hustle. They're going to try to come up with some reason. Something's going to go wrong. And she didn't believe me. And I said, and then so the other guy he's like, I'll back him up. I'll take, it was a slow day. He goes, I'll take care of the other tables. Let them focus on that table. Sure enough, dude. Once the bill came, they started arguing the bill. I'm like, nope, that's exactly what y'all ordered. And then it got to the point where they didn't want to pay. They didn't want to pay. The service wasn't good, and this and that. And my boss finally said, "Oh, this is exactly what he was talking about." They've been trying to fuck with him. They've been trying to get things wrong. It hasn't worked, so now they're just going on to bad customer service, complaining they're not happy. And so she was like, "No, I understand, and you know what? I completely understand. You know." I don't expect you to tip them, but I do expect you to pay the bill. And they're like, no, we're not paying. And they started like trying to walk out, right? Like the first, like a couple of guys left with the kids, right? Like, oh, like they're going to take care of it. And then all of a sudden it went from like 10 to like 3 guys. And then what they didn't know is that about, like every night, because of the graveyard shift, about 9 o'clock, a police officer would come because he would just sit at the booth and drink coffee, and he would just sit there all night because of the graveyard shift. That was like his second shift, like his part-time job.
Yeah.
They had 3 cops that came and did that throughout the week. And he didn't know, they didn't know that cop was coming in. So as soon as he came in, I snatched him up. I was like, hey man, check this out. This is what's going on. They're trying to slip out the bill. It was like 15 of them. Now they're down to 3, and they keep on arguing. And so he just walks up like real calm. I was like, hey, what's up? How you doing? What's going on? And then they're like, oh, this and this and this. And he's like, well, like these are your options. You can either pay, or we can step outside so we can talk about it further, because at that point you're refusing to pay for the services rendered. Dude, they straight out just pulled out their money, just paid, left some extra money there, and walked out. Like they didn't want to have anything to do with the cops.
Shit. And it's not like they didn't have it. Just trying to get free shit.
No, they had it. They just, trying to get free shit. Like anytime they can try to get free shit, they don't care if they hurt your feelings. They don't care if they did wrong. They don't care, man. It's just a hustle. That's the culture, I mean, and it's not too far off from the shit that we see. The difference is that the hustle that we saw was on just like dumbasses, but they weren't trying to hustle everybody. They were just trying to hustle the dumbasses. These motherfuckers try to hustle everybody.
These motherfuckers. But hey, you live and you learn, man.
Live and you learn, man. So with that, I think that's today's lesson of the day: is you live and you learn. Don't get your fucking ass hustled. Be a little bit smarter.
Don't get catfish.
Don't get catfish. Don't be a dumbass. I mean,
she looks too good. She looks too good for you. Go play the lotto. You have more chances of winning the lotto than going with her. That's what I'm saying.
Don't get catfished. Don't get hustled. I mean, I guess dating online works, but if you can't see the person, you can't meet them. Fuck that. I gotta see him. I gotta touch him. In this day and age, dude, that might even be questionable.
You might get Darcel 15 come out.
I don't even want to touch that subject. I don't even want to touch that subject. I'm gonna pedal backwards. I'm gonna get out of that subject for right now because it's already late.
Yeah, man. Well, it was a good run. Till next time. Biatch.
Hey, so I heard before we leave off because I don't want to have to fucking pick up the phone and call you after we hang up. I heard a rumor you're coming into town.
So I heard. So
you heard the same rumor?
Yep. They keep telling me, hey, I want to go to Dallas. And I'm like, hey, look, call Gina, call Luis, and ask if we can go. I mean, you're asking me like that's my house.
Because I don't know what plans they have. I was doing Cinderella work before I jumped on the call. Because I heard you guys were coming. They had me doing Cinderella work.
Yeah. No, we're going. I already requested off Friday. I mean, of course, I'm never off because, people call my cell phone. But, yeah, I'm not going to the office Friday, so we'll be there.
All right, then. I'll keep on cleaning then. That's what I wanted to confirm.
All right, Cinderella. I'll let you.
All right, biatch.
Bye.
I'll see you later, man. Bye.